ask questions of your leaders, teachers, and preachers. Far too long you have stumbled in darkness searching for light. We have a man in our midst who can bring forth true fact beyond doubt, that can open the eyes and ears of those lost in darkness. As Saeed al-Imam Isa al-Hadi al-Mahdi is that man, and the author of over 150 books of a religious and scientific nature. As Saeed al-Imam Isa al-Hadi al-Mahdi has brought forth this information straight from the scriptures, so it cannot be denied. So we invite you to listen, to learn from the true light featuring as Saeed al-Imam Isa al-Hadi al-Mahdi.
نشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له الحمد لله رب العالمين الحمد لله الوالي الكريم وصلى الله على أنبياء أجمعين والمسيح والمهدي والمجدد لنا المرسلين. Are we not the bearers of witness that nothing would exist if Allah didn't create it, and that He is alone and has no partners, and that all gratitude is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the sustainer of all the boundless universes. All gratitude is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the generous eternal friend, and send salutations of Allah on all of His prophets and His apostles, and on the Messiah, the anointed one, and on the Mahdi, the guide, and on the Mujaddid, the reformer, which was all sent from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We send greetings and we send peace throughout the boundless universe to all. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
You are now listening to The True Light with Saeed al-Imam Isa al-Hadi al-Mahdi.
I'd like to know, how can we tell that the world is coming to an end?
Let's go to Matthew 24 and read it and see what we come up with. And Jesus went out and departed from the temple, and the disciples came to him for to show him the building of the temple. And Jesus said unto them, see you all these things? Verily or truly, I say unto thee, or to you all, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be torn down. Okay? You follow it so far? And keep in mind Revelation 18 as we go on. And as he sat, meaning Jesus, on the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately. That means he was no longer teaching a large population, but he was only talking to the disciples the second time they came to him. Right? Came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world? They wanted to know about these things that were mentioned in Revelation chapter 18. When will these things happen? Number 4. And Jesus answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. We got Yahweh ben Yahweh, he's Christ. We got a host of people in America professing to be Christ. And I've been asked 1,000,000 times, and I'll answer over another 1,000,001 times, do you say that you are Christ? And I say to you, listen, no, I am not Christ. So go tell them lying Sunni Muslims who tell people that I say I am Christ that you heard me say, no, I am not Christ. Do you understand? Tell them to stop lying on me. Now, did you hear me say it? Ask me, am I Christ? Somebody. No, I am not Christ. See? Simple, right? So tell them to stop lying. All right. But you better take heed, because many people are going to come and say they are Christ, and they're going to deceive many people. He said, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ. Now, do Muslims come in Christ's name? No. Does a real Israelite, not Yahweh ben Yahweh, because they do, in a subtle kind of way, come in Christ's name, most of the so-called black American Israelites. But do any Muslims that you know of, or real Israelites, come in Christ's name? Yes or no? Who comes in Christ's name? Christians, Christ, Christian, Christ, Christian, Christian, Christ. And Jesus said to watch out for people coming in his name. Because he said, blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of Allah. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called. You see that? And that was a future tense that wasn't even talking about the people of his time, because he used the word shall. And the word peacemaker is salam, and one who's of peace is Muslim. So Jesus said, blessed are the Muslims, they shall be called the children of Allah. And he tells you here in Matthew 24, many shall come in my name and say I am of Christ, and if not. That's going to pick up again. Watch. Number 6. And you shall hear of wars and rumors of war. See that ye be not troubled. Are we not hearing of wars and rumors of war now? All over the world. They don't worry about it. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. It ain't getting out that easy. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. Iraq, Persia, Iran, South America, America, Vietnam, Korea, Japan. Nation shall rise against nation when it deals with people of political status, and kingdom against kingdom. He covered everybody. And there shall be famine and pestilence, which is a repeat from Revelation chapter 18, and earthquakes in diverse places, in all kinds of strange places we've had earthquakes. All these are the beginnings of the sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. You will be hated because you believe in the Messiah. Muslims don't believe in the Messiah, though they say they do. They say one is coming. They don't believe in him. The only Muslims in the world, they recognize the Messiah, the Ansari, and they call us crazy. And we welcome that title, because blessed is he was persecuted after righteous name's sake. You know, they persecuted all the prophets that were before you, the Bible says. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. Now you have all the Sunni Muslim imams going out west to study under white Arabs. We're talking about some serious problems here amongst the Americans. You're going to be betrayed by these people. I just heard that the teacher that was teaching them from overseas in the Sunni Muslims, they have a flyer that they're circulating that he betrayed them. Now the white Arabs are sending all of them out west to study under some more white Arabs. Why don't they just send some money here and build some schools in New York and Philadelphia where you see large quantities of black? Why don't they build it right here? Why you got to leave your family and go way out there? Saudi Arabia got enough money to build a school in 1 year. They can have schools all over the United States if they want to really propagate Deen al-Islam here. They want to smother it, because when they brought Islam to America, they never intended for it to fall in the hands of the original seed. It was for white people so they could try to control them politically. And what happened is the people whose religion it is missed it, and the people whose way of life it is yours picked it up. And now you have a bigger problem. You're worse than an epidemic. The truth is more dangerous than anything. Go ahead. All these are the beginning of sorrows, I read. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another, and many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many. And because the iniquities shall abound, the love of many shall be waxed cold. Because there's so many false prophets and so many false teachings, people don't know which way to turn. Now you have a wax coat over your heart. You don't know who to open your heart up to. The Jehovah's Witnesses sound right, the Seventh-day Adventists sound right, the Ansars sound right, the Sunnis sound right, Farrakhan sounds right. Now people's hearts are turned cold because of the iniquities of the devil. He created all of these different paths to confuse you. But you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Not set you free, make you free. Number 13. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. He that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. Not those who come in the community and leave, only those who stay to the end shall be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. There, at that point, Isa el-Messiah, Jesus the Messiah, alayhi salatu wasalam, answered the disciples' question. He told them what to expect, and then he told them who to avoid, and then he told them And when that happens, then it'll come. Well, we're living in a time when there's rumors of war, kingdom against kingdom, nations against nation. We got false prophets and false Christ, and we got false gods. There's God here. People saying they're God. Some saying they're Christ. Some saying they're this. Some saying they're that. Men are delivering each other. The Sunni Muslims are selling out. They're selling their souls to the pale Arabs for salaries, betraying one another. All the mosques can't even get together on when to break the fast and start the fast, or where to have the khutbah, or who's going to give the khutbah. All of these are the prophecies, and they're manifesting right in front of us today. And when you therefore shall see the abominations of desolations spoken of in the book of Daniel, read Daniel 9 and you see it. Stand in the holy place, not places. Come to the holy place, the tabernacle of the Most High. Be here. Whosoever readeth this, let him understand. That's in brackets, which means they added that section. Then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. And that's taking place now in Judea. The Palestinians have been pushed out of their motherland by other people. They're living up in the mountains, and Germans have taken Palestine and turned it into a new state of Israel. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house. That means when the day comes, let those people who are in the city, Judea represents the city, go to Jezreel Aber. Go up to the mountains. What do I keep telling you we have to do? We have to get out of here and get up on the mountain. You know one of the reasons why? Do you know that a mountain can protect you against radiation? Do you know that? Read, go study. A mountain can protect you from radiation. And the property that we found is one of the highest points where our community is upstate. Real high up. It was selected purposely to be in the right place. So you're near to the ship and protected against the radiation. Like I explained last year, when mosquitoes start coming this summer and biting homosexuals and then start biting you, you have a serious problem. Not just homosexuals, now women are carrying it, and drug addicts are carrying it, and animals are carrying AIDS. And when they start biting you, I don't care who you think you are, how tough a guy or gal you think you are, you can die of AIDS. And you'll have to explain to everybody you ain't homosexual if you just come up tomorrow with AIDS. Because half of the population who don't listen to the news don't know that AIDS is being spread many different ways now. Mosquitoes are going to bring AIDS to these cities. You understand? AIDS are going to come through the cities and mosquitoes. You wait till the epidemic of AIDS starts to spread this summer. Epidemics of drug addicts are spreading. It's becoming dangerous to walk down the street. Neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. You see what it's trying to tell you? If you're saying, well, my family lives in Mauritius, or my family lives in Jamaica, or my family lives in Puerto Rico, I want to go home and contact my family first. Tells you, don't do that. Don't go to the field and then come home. Leave from there, right there. Get in the tabernacle. I'll go on. And woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. It says when that last hour ticks, the women that are pregnant or breastfeeding, why? Why woe to them? Because we're talking about radiation. We're talking about children born today that are born drug addicts because of their dumb parents. People born in double poverty. People born to families that don't have nothing, are starving, little innocent babies, not even given a chance in the world because their mother and father are crack addicts. You understand? So in this day and time, feel sorry. It's not for the mother, it's for the baby. Woe to those women that are pregnant or that are breastfeeding. The radiation, the poison, the filth, and the poverty, and it's a shame. I'm not telling you not to have children. I'm telling you to be in the tabernacle and have your children. So you're protected by the tabernacle of the Most High. He has always given us, when we was Israel, he told Moses in Exodus 15 to build an ark of a covenant, which is a protection. Did you see that movie? Raiders of the Lost Ark?
No, sir, I didn't see it.
That same thing was constructed the same way Moses built the ark of the tabernacle. Same thing they had in that movie. All the Amorites was fighting over it. When they finally got it in the cave, angels of fire came out of that ark and just tore it to pieces. The devil wants the truth, but truth is too heavy for him. 20. But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day. It says, you better hope that the catastrophe does not come in the middle of the winter. Why? Because this man has the power to cut off your gas, your electric, your heat. He can immobilize you. You can hide in your house, and he can just cut it all off if you're not prepared. Them projects are made of metal and brick. You know what will happen if they cut off the heat in a project in the middle of winter? They become refrigerators. He knows what he's building. He knows how he's doing this. He said, you better pray that that final click don't be in the middle of the winter. And it better not be on the Sabbath, because the Lord is writing this as if you keep the Sabbath. Knowing that you can't walk but so many miles, or you can't do but so many things on the Sabbath if you live by the law of the Sabbath. So he said, you better hope it don't happen in the winter of the Sabbath, because you're going to be right in the midst of the devil and you ain't going to do nothing about it. Number 21. But then shall be great tribulations, such as what? Tell me.
Was not since the beginning of the world
to
this time,
nor
ever shall be.
Now, what tribulations took place in the beginning of the world? Let's go to Revelations chapter 12 to find out. Verse 7. Revelation 12, verse 7. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, right?
Yes, sir.
Number 9. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth how many people?
The whole world.
They deceived the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels was cast out with him. See that? That's what took place in the beginning that they're telling you in Matthew 24. A battle like that has never happened since the beginning of the world. The battle of the whole heavens and the earth. And it ain't going to never happen again after this. And you're going to be in the midst of it. 22. And except those days be shortened, there shall no flesh be saved. You understand what that means?
Yes,
that
sir.
means people are now saying, it was just a week last week. Here you are sitting up here again this Sunday. What happened to the week? Time is going by. You're missing days. You talking to people saying, today? Well, I thought today was Monday. Here you're in the middle of the week. Time is zooming up. You can watch days and nights pass. But the Lord says, if he didn't shorten the days, we would not make it to heaven. We'd fall behind if he didn't make it. We'd get weak. Because the devil is getting very powerful in his temptation. His world is getting more colorful and more delicious and more exciting every day. He's creating more, he's giving more Negroes opportunities in the theatrical world, in the medical world, the political world. He's opening doors for us to be tempted by him. What profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Just because of you, he will shorten time. Then, if any man shall say unto you, lo, here is Christ, or there, don't believe it. Telling you in this last day and time, a whole lot of people are going to pop up saying, there's Christ, here's Christ, here's Christ. Now that's the guy who's horizontally. You understand about horizontally? Yes. That's the Christ walking up on me and you. Now let's go to the other kind of Christ. So if you don't believe that one, the Bible right there tells me, somebody will say, there goes Christ, don't believe it. Let me find out what else it says for those other kind of beliefs in Christ. 24 says, well, there shall arise false, plural, Christ, and false prophets. They separated those people who call themselves Christ from those who call themselves prophets. We got all these false prophets. They don't call themselves Christ. They just call themselves prophets. They're prophesying. There are no more prophets after Muhammad. And shall show great signs and wonders. Will they have the power to heal? Will these false Christs have the power to heal and stuff? What the Bible say? They shall show great signs and wonders. That they will have the power to do these things. But it goes on and gives you a little catch. In so much that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elite. But can a Muslim be deceived? They can't fool us no more. We know better. All we got to do, as soon as they get to rattling off in their mouth, we listen to what they say and say, oh, there's one of them false prophets. Let's move on. 25. Behold, what did Jesus say? Behold, now what?
I have told you before.
Go ahead.
Wherefore, if they shall say unto you, behold, he is in the desert.
If they tell you that Jesus Christ is going to come out of the desert, he's going to come on the temple of Jerusalem out of the desert. He's going to rise up in Israel in the desert. What will he tell you to do with those guys?
Go not forth, behold.
Now, don't go. A whole bunch of brothers left Chicago on their way to Israel years ago. They were going to wait for the Messiah in 1967, and they're still waiting for the Messiah in 1987. But the Bible told them, don't go over there looking for him. But what? Behold,
he is in the secret chambers. Believe it not.
Now someone tells you he's in some secret chamber in heaven next to God, and he's going to come out of clouds and ride forth in glory, and a whole bunch of little fat angels with little wings are going to be around him, and there's going to be music and harps and little people singing, and everything is going to be so beautiful. They get to crying and carrying on, and they get all happy, and everybody goes, yes. He says what? Believe it not. Don't believe it. It has told you all the things that people tell you to believe about Christ. Christ just told you don't believe it. If someone says he's a man, don't believe it. If someone says he's of Christ, don't believe it. If he says he's a prophet of Christ, don't believe it. If he says he's going to come in Jerusalem or in the desert, don't believe it. If he says he's going to come out of the sky or from some sacred chamber, don't believe it. So now, what do we believe? Because everything I've ever read, from the Jehovah's Witness to the Seventh-day Adventists to the Muslims to the Jews, is right here being said, don't believe it. You know why? Because Christ is not going to come like that. He's sending this angel to testify for him, is mentioned in Revelation chapter 1. He's sending his angel signifying it for him. So all the things you think about the way he's going to come is not true, because he's not going to come that way. So you can look up in the sky all you want. They've been waiting for 2,000 years for Jesus. They're looking up. Get in church and get the popping tambourines and screaming and singing, having a good time, and still got to pay rent the next month. You understand that? Because they don't want to read this little verse that tells them the way they think he's going to come, he's not going to come. And now it tells you in 27 how to expect him. For as the lightning, what is lightning?
True.
Positive and negative charges of energy. Right? Created by a clash of hot and cold weather, which gives off electrical charges, and you see lightning. Watch. For as the lightning cometh out of the east, but where is it going to shine?
Even into the west.
Then what?
So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
Now, are y'all not the sons and daughters of man, who are given the power to become the sons and daughters of God? You understand that? Were you not born of a man? A mortal? You are the sons of man. And you are the sons of God when you accept the truth of the oneness of Allah. The light shining out of the east, where do you think you came from? You think you was always here in the west? You came out of the east unto the west, shining forth. Now you're trying to bring back pure Islam, and you have rose in the west and shining forth towards the east. You know about that, traveling east, right?
A little.
Enough, say. You understand?
Yes, sir.
The light of the Most High is like a tabernacle prepared for a bride that's coming down out of heaven into your heart, and you shall shine forth with the truth, and the truth shall make you free. And in accepting that truth, you make a transformation from a son of man to a son of God, like it said. That's the truth. That's what the Bible says. All other stuff is what other men say. Number 28, if we want to go on. So we covered the main gist of it.
Yes, sir.
Well, wheresoever the carcass is, there will the eagles be gathered together. The carcass, people.
Carcass.
Read what it says in 28. For wheresoever the carcass is,
There will the eagles be gathered together.
and that's their power. That was always a symbol. Number 29. Immediately after the tribulations of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. Now you're talking about the end of the world. Now we're talking serious end of world here. We're talking about the stars falling out the sky and the sun and moon being blocked. You know, if the sun was cut off from the earth within 15 minutes, y'all would freeze to death. Number 30. And then shall appear the sign of what?
The Son of Man
Where?
in heaven.
That is the formation of the constellations. The sign of the Son of Man appearing is going to be that. Read on, you see it.
And then shall
All the tribes of the earth mourn.
and they shall see
The Son of Man coming in clouds of heaven
with power.
power and great glory. That's from Daniel. You see that?
Yes, sir.
That's the mothership. That's the elders. Senendo is there. Senendo is Jesus' real name. Senendo is there. He's with them. But so is Elijah. And so is Jeremiah. And so is all the rest of the great prophets. They're there. After the world is about ready to destroy itself, you're going to see that ship come forth. And what else?
And he shall seal the right angels.
He shall send
And he shall send the right
his angels.
angels with a great sound of a trumpet.
And that angels, as I told you, around about the throne, are nothing but extraterrestrials. And the sound of the trumpet is mentioned in the Holy Quran, chapter 20, verse 102. On the day when the trumpet is blown, we shall gather the guilty blue-eyed on that day. Remember that one? That trumpet is the same trumpet, and that angel is Raphael, who holds the trumpet to blow for the judgment of the world. Go ahead.
And they shall gather together his elect.
That means 144,000 will be gathered and be prepared to be taken away. Go ahead.
From the four winds.
Remember the four ships that at the four corners that are holding back the wind so the world doesn't destroy itself? Go ahead.
From one end of heaven to the other.
That means they'll travel intergalactically. They're going to leave this atmosphere and go straight on the other side of the black hole. See? I don't want to get that to get heavy. Let's finish this.
Now learn a parable of the fig tree. When his branch is yet tender and putteth forth leaves, ye know that summer is
Near. Means near. He's telling us that this end of the world is symbolic of a fig tree. When you start seeing the signs of its leaves, you better know that the fruit is going to grow. All the things that we mentioned, rumors of wars, pestilence, diseases, and famine, those are the leaves on the fig tree blossoming. That means that this judgment is very near. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
So likewise, yea, when ye shall see all these things, know that it is near, even at the doors.
That's clear, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass till all these things be what?
Fulfilled.
You aren't going anywhere. This generation is not going anywhere until you get all of those plagues. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. You see that?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
But at that day, and that
But of that day
an hour,
and hour,
knoweth no man, no,
not the angels of heaven, but
my
my Father only. The only one that knows the exact hour of judgment is the Heavenly Father. The angels don't even know. We can't tell you when it's going to end. Only Allah Ta'ala knows the exact moment. Go ahead.
But as the days of Noah
Whereas, that's right, as in the days of Noah were,
so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
What happened in Noah? Noah went around warning people about the end of the world, warning people about a delusion. They called him crazy. Of course they called him crazy. He was building a boat out in the desert. Didn't that look crazy? Well, that's how we look building this tabernacle in the middle of New York City, telling people to stop having a good time and put on white and learn to pray. Of course we look crazy. Of course they'll say you're only brainwashed. Of course they're going to persecute you for wanting to be an answer, put a veil on your face, and walk around in a white long dress every day, a male or a female. Of course they're going to say you're nuts, because that's what they did to Noah. Noah came and said, it's going to rain 40 days and 40 nights. They said, in the desert, good. That means our crops will grow.
We will return with the true light after this brief intermission. We, the Nubian Islamic Hebrews, would like to hear from you. Write us and let us know how the true light has made a difference in your life. Unlike those fake healers and lying preachers, we are not asking you to send us money for prayer cloths and lucky numbers. We are a self-supporting program. We just ask that you show your support by writing as Saeed al-Imam Isa al-Hadi al-Mahdi. Let him know how the true light has made a difference in your life. We are asking you, don't send your hard-earned money to those lying men who claim to come in the name of Jesus and who really come in the name of themselves. So beware of wolves in sheep's clothing. Now let us continue with the true light. Remember, you are the light, and you have the power over all things.
He said, yeah, but y'all won't be here. Did y'all get the Noah book? The Noah book is out now.
Yes,
the new book, Noah 1 and 2.
1 and 2 I have them, yes,
I'm
sir.
telling you, that's some heavy material. It's going to get heavier too, believe me. Go ahead.
For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark.
That means back then, before the flood, they were partying it up, just like today, having a good time. And then that hour came. Go ahead.
And knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So also the coming of the Son of Man be.
See? They ain't going to believe you. They all going to be out there still popping their fingers and dancing, having a good time. I must have touched some sore spots a couple years ago. They'll be out there having a good time, and all of a sudden, bam, in one day, it says in Revelations 18, in 1 hour, this big city, this Babylon, is made desolate, which people thought could never fall. They're going to catch people having a good time, going on the subway, on their way to Wall Street, on their way to get their suit out to clean up for the party, on their way to get our hair repermed. I'm going to get my nails rebuilt. I got to find me a pair of shoes to match this new pantsuit I got. I got to go down and get the key for this new car I'm buying. I got to go see this new apartment or pick up my furniture or call this man about my dog who got a broken leg. And that's when it's going to happen. When they least expect it. That's when it's going to strike. Go ahead.
Then shall two be in the field, the one shall be taken and the other left.
That's what they call the rapture. You look next to the person next to you. You see that person next to you? Come on, everybody, don't be afraid. Sir. If you like that person, realize that if y'all don't become one of y'all ain't going. The Bible says 2 people will be together. One is going and one is staying behind. Unless y'all become one in faith, one in spirit, one of y'all are going to stay behind. Now y'all pick the choice. Go ahead.
2 women shall be grinding at the mill.
One shall be
taken and the other
going to be left.
Watch therefore, for ye know not what hour your Lord doth come.
That's right. You don't know what hour the Lord is going to make this judgment come. 2 women together. See the 2 sisters there sitting in front of you?
Yes, sir.
2 of them together. 1 of them are going and 1 of them are not. So don't mess around and be socializing with somebody who don't have as much faith as you, and they're trying to keep you out the tabernacle for their reasons, and then you know them go. Let's go.
But know this, that if the good man of the house had known it.
Had known in what?
watched the thief
would come. That's right.
He would have watched and would have suffered his house.
What that means, if the man, the good man, had known exactly when the burglar was going to come in and burglarize his house, he would have been sitting there to catch him. That's those people in there that say, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to prolong it to the last minute, then take my shahada right before Judgment Day. I'm going to finish this partying first, then I'm going to come in. I want to finish. No, it ain't going to work like that. He's going to come like a thief in the night.
We will return with the true light after this brief intermission. Now is the time to ask questions of your leaders, teachers, and preachers. Where did all the races of people come from? Why did John have to baptize Jesus at the Jordan? And why do the four Gospels contradict each other? The answer to these questions can be with only one man, as Saeed al-Imam Isa al-Hadi al-Mahdi, the man who has written over 150 books on such topics as, is there life on other planets? How were the pyramids built? What race was Adam and Eve? And was the Holy Quran made up by Muhammad, or was it a divine scripture sent from the Most High? And what is the difference between the spirit and the soul? The answer to these questions can be found in the most dynamic books in history, authored by Saeed al-Imam Isa al-Hadi al-Mahdi. These books can be purchased at the original Tensakita at 719 Bushwick Avenue, Brooklyn, New York, 11221. Would you like to see the man behind the voice you hear teaching the total truth? He is there at the Hall of Knowledge located at 548 Hart Street, Brooklyn, New York. Every Saturday and Sunday at 1 p.m., the Nubian Islamic Hebrews would like to invite you to question and answer classes with Saeed al-Imam Isa al-Hadi al-Mahdi. Come listen and learn. Hear the words of truth for yourself. Hear the answers to long-awaited questions. Also for your spiritual growth, an intricate design woven prayer rug designed by the hand of Saeed al-Imam Isa al-Hadi al-Mahdi. Also available are prayer beads, incense, and oils. If you would like any further information on these items, contact the original Tents of Kedar, 719 Bushwick Avenue, Brooklyn, New York, 11221. And be sure to ask for a listing of the most dynamic books in history, authored by Saeed al-Imam Isa al-Hadi al-Mahdi. Now let us continue with the true light. Remember, you are the light, and you have the power over all things.
Go ahead.
And would have suffered his house to be broken up.
That's right.
Therefore be ye also ready, for in such an hour as ye think not the Son of Man cometh.
When you don't think he's going to come, that's when he'll be here. Y'all did not expect it, did y'all? Here y'all were merry-making in 1970, and out of nowhere pops this man with this new doctrine that has y'all sitting in this room. You wasn't ready for it. You just was so nosy, you couldn't resist it. You saw this book, it had all this funny stuff on the cover, and you said, Nubian Islamic Hebrews. Leviathan 666. Now what is that? And you start breaking and say, whoa, look at this, $1 bill. And I'm going to read this. And you read it, and you said, that's interesting. Now I got to get another one, and another one, and another one, and another one. And you've been another one in ever since, because your nose got you in it. Your body's mad at your nose, in case you don't know it. Because you done nosed your way into a doctrine that's calling for more. See, the Bible says the truth is sweet in the mouth and bitter in the belly. The little book they call in Revelations. Sweet in the mouth and bitter. When you first hear about Islam, you heavy. You the heaviest guy in your neighborhood now. You can go bust people up. You heavy now. You burning hot stuff. And then someone says, well, don't those people wear veils? Well, I'm going to get around to that too. Well, don't they all live together? I'll be there. I'm moving in. When? Because right now, your conversation don't mean nothing because you ain't living all the law. And then eventually, then you got to try not to let people know you know this. Then you got to try to be cool and don't say nothing about the doctrine. You know what I'm saying? They can look in your eye and they know that you're not the normal no more, People look at you and they say, you know something. I don't know what it is you know, but you know something because you are out of place. You go to a party now. You go and try. You're in a party. You can try to have a good time, but you're looking around at these people and saying, these people are stupid. You see a person take a piece of paper with some leaves in it and put a match to it and puff on it. Simply called a cigarette. And you're looking at it and say, this guy's smoking paper and leaves. Before, you didn't see it that way. You see a guy walk up to a bar and take an alcoholic drink, put it to his lips, down, rubbing alcohol with some food coloring in it, make a strong face like, "Lock, give me another hit." And something in the back of your mind says, "This is strange." The man takes and builds a car and makes a speed 55 miles an hour and then puts 180 miles on the speedometer. You follow that?
Yes, sir.
So let's go out and kill yourselves. If he didn't want people to kill themselves, he'd only put 55 miles an hour on the speedometer. The car wouldn't go no further. He got to tell you, you better not drive around more than 55 miles an hour, but go buy this Porsche that does 240. The devil is doing his work, y'all. 24 hours a day. Go ahead, read on.
Who then is a faithful and wise servant, whom Lord hath made ruler over his household, to give them meat in the season.
He's telling you that the Son of Man, right? He's wise and he's loyal, because he's a servant of the Lord, and he will be the one to prepare the household to provide for you. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Blessed is that servant whom his Lord, when he cometh, shall find so doing.
That's right. Blessed is the servant who, when the truth comes, he'll be found in his God, found in righteousness. He's going to make it. Go ahead. Verily I say unto you,
that he shall make him ruler over all his goods.
Ain't that great? 48.
And if that evil servant shall say it
in his heart,
my Lord delayeth his coming.
If the evil servant says, my Lord is not coming yet. I mean, remember the guy who says he'll put it off for later? What does it tell you about him? And shall begin to smite his fellow servant, and to eat and drink with the drunkards. People who were in, drop back out and run back into the world and get involved. What does it tell you about him?
The Lord of that servant shall come in a day when he looketh not for him.
That's right.
And in an hour that he is not aware of.
Go ahead.
And shall cut him asunder, and appoint him his portion with the hypocrites.
That's right.
There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth.
Now, we went through the whole Matthew 24, verse by verse. This is how you read the Bible. You don't be jumping from place to place unless you're trying to make a point and you don't have the time. Read the whole thing so you can see what it says.
It's what race of people were the Egyptians who had the people in Egypt under bondage, and that Moses had came to.
All right. What happens with Egypt is, like I was teaching on this last night. What happens with Egypt is most of your scholars, especially American, are getting all their translations from English. So therefore, none of them, or most of them, have taken the time to learn hieroglyphics. Or they strain their hieroglyphics from the Rosetta Stone, which was in Greek. So they say that this new Rosetta Stone, which was in Greek, gave them the power to translate the hieroglyphics, which was an ancient Egyptian language, written and not spoken. They never even bothered to check up on the word Greek. If you really research the word Greek, you'll find out that the word Greek, or Greece, or Grecia, means to be uncertain. The word itself means uncertain. How silly the Christians look when they say Jesus revealed the books to them in Greece. Greek. All right. Now, when you talk about Egypt, you got to understand that when you say we're going up the Nile, you're really going south. You follow that? You're going from Egypt or Alexandria down towards Sudan, which means you pass through Cairo or Kahira down into Luxor and Nubia and then down into Sudan, where there are pyramids, but the white man refuses to mention that there are pyramids in Sudan. You see that you can see. All right. What he tries to make people think is whenever he speaks of Egypt, he's talking about Alexandria, which is to the north, connected to the Mediterranean. by which entrance from Europe was easily made. So the invasion by Caucasoid people called Franks and Angles, or whatever, Saxons, which became Anglo-Saxon or English people, and Franks, which became known as French, and Iranians or Aryans, which became known as the germ seed, or the man with the germ, or Germans. You see, all of these people fell their way into northern Africa from the Mediterranean and invaded Egypt on countless times. Thus, when you look in the northern part of Egypt at the hieroglyphics, you see what they would call a rainbow coalition, which is a joke. We don't need a rainbow coalition mixing our seed with other people. Only people who need seeds mixed with them want to mix. White people need us to mix with them. We don't need them. We've survived for millions of years without him. He can't even survive 6,000. Okay? So now, when you get most of your books in America and they teach you in college about Egypt, they're teaching you about Alexandria. And that's why they always take you to Cleopatra and how a man named Alexandria went over to Egypt, and Caesar came over to Egypt, and Pythagoras came over to Egypt and got their philosophy, which they later called the Hermes doctrine, or the Kabbalion, not the Kabbalah. You follow that? Yes. I'm building around something, so bear with me.
Okay.
So when you get to the southern part of Egypt, which is really the north, because like I said, the Nile travels down to Sudan, but they say it's going up. So the white man is such a devil that he switched everything around to confuse people. Whenever they speak about the seed that Ibrahim and them came in contact with, or that Musa, Ibrahim is Abraham alayhi salatu wasalam, or Musa, which is Moses alayhi salatu wasalam, who came in contact with Ramses and them, they were talking about Ramses of Luxor, not Ramses of Alexandria. But when they give you their movies in America about the Bible, they pull it up into Alexandria, where they had been invaded by whites and mixed in. Thus you see on the hieroglyphics of the pyramids of the northern part in Cairo, you see all different colors Egyptians. But when you get to the lower, which is really the upper, and I'm not trying to confuse you, bear with it. When you get to the lower Luxor in Sudan, inside the pyramids you see all dark people, which were the real seed of Mizraim from Cush. The word Egypt, Misr, is from the word Mizraim, from the seed of Cush, who came over into Africa or Africa and moved down into Luxor, Nubia, Sudan, Somali, Habashi, Ethiopia. They all were the descendants of Nabi Noah, who was perfect in his generation and was the black seed. So that when Musa alayhi salatu wasalam was in Egypt, he was talking not up in Alexandria but lower Egypt, which is really upper Egypt. Okay, I gotta keep saying that because they keep playing words with you. And he was in the midst of all blacks, which are the Sudanese, the Nubians. And when Bani Israel, which are the children of Israel, migrated from the land of Canaan into Egypt, because that was the only place where there was grain, they encountered Nubian people, which were Sudanese, which was black. And when Joseph blended in Egypt as an officer in the ranks of Egypt, because of his ability to interpret dreams, he blended in amongst blacks. So when his other brothers, along with their father Yaqub or Jacob, came to Egypt, which was Luxor or Nubia in Sudan region, and they could not differentiate Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, Joseph, from the other Egyptians, it's because he was black. Now all of this blackness is not necessary, because we don't need this racism in Islam. However, the white Arab spends a lot of time trying to give us trying to put in our minds that Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam, Muhammad, was white, or a white Arab with a red beard, and that Abraham was white, and that Adam was white, and that Jesus was white. But the moment you and I bring it up, we're racist. Imam Isa is a racist. Don't go to the Ansar Allah community, they talk racism. Your question is a very good question. When Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, Moses, when Abraham alayhi salatu wasalam was in Egypt, and when Jesus, Isa ibn Maryam, went to Egypt, he encountered black people. Today, if you went to the tree, and I've been there, where Miriam and Jesus rested, it's in the southern part of Cairo, going towards Luxor. You understand?
Yes.
So those were black people who the children of Israel were in bondage to. Black Egyptians. And that's why when they say in the second prophecy, in the 15th chapter of Genesis, about Abraham's seed being in bondage for 400 years, and that the Amorites would keep them in bondage, we know he could not have been talking about the children of Israel, because the Amorites did never, ever rule Egypt. It had to be talking about you people who are descendants of Ismail and Israel here today in the Western world, who have been lost but now found, thanks to people like Noble Drew Ali, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and Jama Ansarullah. We have now found our way back to Sabilullah and Silsila, our chain. Okay?
Assalamu alaikum. I have a question that grieves me a lot, because I'm from a family that were Muslim, or striving for a title. And I'm in a family whereas my father was Muslim and they were following the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. The family divided because one wants to go a positive direction, the other wants to go a negative direction. The question that I have to ask is, families. We all are families, our families that we love so much and so much care about. Some of them don't even want us to accept this truth. Could you please explain to me, why is all this happening? Our families are like, we are accepting your word and your truth, but then our fathers and our mothers are like, you know, they're slandering you.
First of all, if they followed the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad properly, right, we'd come up with certain questions that he put forth. One of them is, why is the devil so successful in all his undertakings? Remember that question?
Mm-hmm.
What did it answer? Because those that was his followers, right?
Right.
Obeyed his instructions regardless of what he told them to do. Correct?
Right.
Now, in the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's teachings, he also made mention of, can a Muslim be fooled? And the answer was, not nowadays. Correct?
Right.
The devil tried. But right after the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was taken up by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, alayhi salam, what happened is the whole community got fooled. Warwick D. Muhammad, who did not follow the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who had been groomed by pale Arabs to pull down the nation of Islam, was elected into office. You see? And he opened the doors of that holy temple and mixed and diluted and tampered it. What did the Honorable Elijah Muhammad say about the word holy? What is holy? Anything that has not been mixed, diluted, or tampered with in any way. And he called them the holy nation of Islam in the teachings. Yet, Word D. Muhammad opened the door to let the unholy devil in. Honorable Elijah Muhammad also said, can the devil be reformed?
No.
No. All the scientists have tried. And they came to the conclusion that it could not be done. So how could Word D. Muhammad allow the devil inside a holy temple, which would first render it unholy? And if they had obeyed the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's teachings, regardless of what he told them to do, you see, all of the scandalism and all of the lies, be they true or false, about his private life, should have never even came up. The devil is successful because his followers obey him. You follow that? Yes. Muslims cannot be successful because they refuse to obey their leaders. Black people do just the opposite when you ask them to obey. They disobey. So now the reason why the family is broken up is because in the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, where our paths go slightly different, is I don't teach familyism. I teach tribalism. Meaning, I teach that all the children in the community are everybody's sons and daughters. Your sons and daughters become mine when you come in this community, and I'm as responsible for them as you are for my children. We don't believe in going home after Thursday night meeting and everybody going to their separate little cubular called an apartment, and then we got to start coming to the masjid to impress each other. We try to live for, of, and by each other, like Sheikh Dawood had taught. That's all we're telling people, is that either you're of this world or the next. Either you live for the things of this world or you live for Yawm al-Akhiri and Jannah. And if you want to give up the things of this world to prepare yourself for the next world, you start by reducing your desires of the material things around you. Start there. Tell them it's not the peddling, it's the books. It's not the incense, it's the teachings that the man has. And tell them if they're not afraid, read it and see. A lot of people are afraid to read our books.
They are.
Because they'll hook you. When you start reading Ansar publications, you get hooked.
They say truth hurts.
Truth is that. It's hard. A whole lot of people sitting in that room are saying, I wish I would have never picked up one of those books.
You know,
Lord knows I wish I would have just passed that brother on the street and didn't say nothing. Because when I opened that book, I thought it was sweet the first day. The first book was so sweet, I felt so great. And then they told me, you can't smoke, you can't drink, you got to cover your face, you got to wear a long white dress every day, a white cap, you got to move inside of a community. Then it started, all this sweet tasting truth started becoming quite bitter.
Sure.
So a whole lot of people who've been coming here for 1,000 years and ain't moved in yet, ain't make no intentions of moving the community. Just coming in, sopping up knowledge, ain't fooling nobody but yourself, because you are hooked. People leave the mosque, they go out in the street and they say, I hate that place, I don't like this, I don't like it. Next thing you know, 4 months later, you see him back in the street. That's the brother. Ain't that brother the one I saw on the street who left who was talking about him? He's back in there. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق خلق الإنسان من علق اقرأ وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم صدق الله العظيم.
Those were verses 1 through 5 of Salatul Alaq from the Holy Quran chapter, Separation of Cells. Now the 96, originally the first chapter revealed to the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. Translation by As-Sa'id al-Imam Isa al-Hadi al-Mahdi. And it reads as follows: Begin all things with the illustrious names of Allah, the yield of the most merciful. O seal of the prophets of Allah, Muhammad, by the supreme sovereignty of your sustainer and creator, you are being ordered to read, by beginning with the name of your illustrious sustainer who created all things. He, Allah, created all human beings of a separating cell. So read, because your sustainer, Allah, is most generous. He uses the quill to teach. He, Allah, taught human beings what they would have never known. You have been listening to The True Light with As-Sa'id al-Imam Isa al-Hadi al-Mahdi. The Nubian Islamic Hebrew Mission would like you to write or send questions to True Light, 719 Bushwick Avenue, Brooklyn, New York, 11221.
This is from the 66th surah of the Holy Quran, the 8th verse, and reads, O Sustainer, complete for us our light, and forgive us, for surely you have the power over all things.